Every woman tests a man through behavior, not through direct words. If you misinterpret those signals, you can end up failing without even understanding what went wrong. In this video, you'll discover what to pay attention to when a woman is starting to open up to you emotionally and allow you closer into her personal world, giving you her time, attention, and deeper connection. She will never clearly state that she is ready. Instead, her behavior will communicate it for her in quiet and subtle ways. These signals are emotional, instinctive, and often very easy to miss. Most men overlook them because they are waiting for something obvious and straightforward, but real attraction is rarely obvious. It shows up in silence, in eye contact, and in the small, almost invisible ways she behaves around you, even without physical interaction. Welcome to Feminine Insight. If you are new here, subscribe because we uncover the deeper layers of attraction, emotional behavior, and human connection. Now, listen closely. Every woman is different in personality, past experiences, and confidence levels. But when she begins to open up to you, certain behavioral patterns tend to appear across most women. This isn't because they are consciously taught, but because emotionally and psychologically, her responses begin to shift before she can fully control them. One of the earliest signs shows in how she positions herself around you. A woman who is not interested will maintain distance and protect her personal space. But when she is drawn to you, she naturally starts to close that gap. She may sit closer than necessary, find reasons to stay nearby, or slowly angle her body toward you in group settings. Attraction creates subtle restlessness. Her mind may try to act composed, but her body often reveals the truth. And it is not only about physical closeness. It is about the sense of comfort she feels in your presence. When a woman is truly drawn to you, her guard begins to soften. She becomes more relaxed in the way she speaks, more natural in her expressions, and less controlled in how she presents herself. You may notice she stays a little longer than expected, continues conversations without clear reason to end them, or becomes more expressive through her eyes and reactions. These are not random behaviors. They are subtle emotional indicators that she feels safe and engaged around you. Attraction is not always loud or dramatic. Often, it is quiet, gradual, and revealed through comfort rather than words. And if you are paying attention, you will notice that comfort is one of the clearest signs of deeper interest developing. She lets her guard drop without even realizing it. Around you, her voice becomes softer, less guarded. She laughs more easily, smiles more naturally, and that usual defensive tension most women carry when they are unsure starts to fade. When a woman is drawn to you, that emotional armor doesn't disappear because she decides it. It slips away on its own. Then there are her eyes, which often reveal what she is not saying. One of the clearest emotional signals is not a long, seductive stare, but the opposite, brief, repeated moments of eye contact followed by quick glances away. That small hesitation, that shy break in eye contact, often means you have triggered something she didn't expect or fully understand yet. Her nervous system reacts before her mind can regain control, which is why attraction often feels unintentional and unfiltered rather than bold or obvious. She may also show subtle physical cues without realizing it. Her gaze might drift toward your lips while you speak. She might touch her hair, her neck, or her collarbone in a way that seems casual, but is actually unconscious, self-soothing, triggered by emotion. These are not deliberate actions. They are natural responses when attraction and curiosity begin to rise. At the same time, she may begin sharing more personal things with you. Not surface-level stories, but deeper experiences. her fears, insecurities, or moments she rarely speaks about. This is because for many women, physical closeness is tied to emotional safety. She doesn't fully open up unless she feels mentally and emotionally secure. When she begins revealing these private layers, even gradually, it signals that she is lowering emotional barriers and testing what level of trust exists between you. Another noticeable shift is how her emotional energy changes around you compared to others. With most people, she may remain composed, polite, or slightly reserved. But with you, her reactions become more dynamic, her tone changes, her expressions become more alive, and even simple eye contact starts to affect her mood. She may act playful, slightly sarcastic, or unexpectedly soft without intending to. At times, she might even appear shy without knowing why. This emotional inconsistency is often a sign of internal conflict between attraction and self-control. A woman usually only becomes nervous around someone who genuinely matters to her. If she is completely unaffected, there is likely no deeper emotional pull. But if she seems calm on the surface while something clearly shifts underneath, that tension often reflects growing desire that she has not yet expressed openly. A woman doesn't surrender to a man she cannot respect. So when she allows you to guide the flow of conversations, decisions, or even small everyday moments, she is communicating something without ever needing to say it directly. But one of the more complex psychological patterns shows up when her emotions become inconsistent. She may seem distant one day and unusually close the next. That shift is often not simple confusion. It can reflect internal conflict when her attraction is stronger than what she feels comfortable acknowledging. Part of her wants space, while another part keeps pulling her back in. This push and pull dynamic often appears when emotions are not fully under control and she is trying to manage feelings she hasn't fully processed yet. At a deeper level, when a woman is emotionally invested, she begins to observe you more closely than anyone else. Not just your appearance, but your reactions, your temperament, and the way you handle different situations. She notices what triggers your frustration, what softens your mood, and what reveals your vulnerability. This is not casual curiosity. It is emotional evaluation. She is trying to understand who you are beyond surface-level interaction, because emotional safety matters before deeper connection. You might even notice her watching you when she thinks you are not paying attention. In those moments, she is not just looking, she is taking mental notes, trying to understand your emotional depth and consistency. As this connection grows, her behavior starts to shift in anticipation. She begins looking forward to your presence, replying more quickly, remembering small details you mentioned, and staying mentally engaged even when you are not around. You may also notice subtle changes in how she presents herself around you. She might adjust her hair, fix her posture, or become more aware of her appearance when you are near. These small behaviors are often unconscious responses to attraction and awareness. At the same time, jealousy can begin to appear, not in dramatic outbursts, but in quiet shifts, slight pauses, changes in tone, or subtle withdrawal when other women are mentioned. This reaction often reflects emotional attachment rather than control. Another important sign is how she responds to physical proximity. Light, accidental contact that is not immediately rejected can indicate growing comfort. If she does not pull away and instead remains present, or even moves slightly closer, it often signals emotional acceptance of your presence. In those moments, logic becomes less dominant, and emotional response takes over, revealing what she may not yet be ready to express in words. When a woman is truly ready to give herself to you, her logical control starts to fade in subtle ways. She stops overanalyzing every interaction, stops trying to predict every outcome, and begins to feel safer simply being in your presence. Her defenses lower naturally, and her energy becomes softer, more open, and more emotionally exposed. But right before this deeper shift, there is often a final test. She may pull back slightly, become more emotional, ask difficult questions, or even challenge your behavior. This is not random distance. It is often a way of observing how you respond when things are not smooth. What she is really looking for is emotional stability, patience, consistency, and strength. For her, intimacy is never only physical, it is rooted in psychological trust. When she begins to open that inner space, it means she is already allowing you closer than she has allowed most people. At this stage, even her communication begins to change. Her voice may become softer, slower, and more emotionally expressive, as if she is no longer filtering every word as carefully as before. It may feel less like casual conversation and more like emotional honesty slipping through. Alongside this, a powerful shift appears in her comfort level with silence. If she can sit beside you without feeling the need to fill every gap with conversation, that quiet becomes a form of emotional safety. It shows she is not trying to impress or protect herself in that moment. She is simply at ease. This kind of silence often reflects trust more deeply than words ever could. As this comfort grows, she may also begin asking more personal, emotionally revealing questions about your thoughts, your past, and your feelings. This is her way of understanding your emotional depth before she allows herself to go deeper. When emotional safety is established, her behavior becomes more naturally expressive. She may stand closer without realizing it, allow more physical proximity, or remain in contact a little longer than necessary in simple everyday interactions. These subtle shifts are often unconscious signs of comfort rather than calculated actions. At the same time, availability becomes more noticeable. She may make time for conversations, adjust her schedule, or prioritize moments with you even when life is busy. This is not about chasing. It is about where her attention naturally flows when emotional interest is present. As this deepens, her entire presence becomes more relaxed and responsive around you. Her expressions soften, her attention becomes more focused on you, and her concern gradually shifts toward your emotional state as much as her own. In these moments, connection is no longer about effort or strategy. It becomes about emotional alignment, where trust quietly leads the interaction forward.